Okay, I've wanted to do a random GitHub issue fix challenge for a while, and I've done a couple of attempts so far, but giving this another go. Um, I've been finding issues just by using the GitHub search issue API, and stumbled across this one. It's a data visualization library, and somebody wants the ability to add an ellipsis option to pill plots. Um, in the case that there are many different values for a single cell. I have never seen this library before. I don't think I've ever used it. It seems to be a tool for generating HTML reports from CSV or TSV data. Um, and we can start poking around and see what we can find. So the I guess I should actually just make sure that I have what is a pill plot? Um, I don't know. Didn't seem obvious. Pill plots. Pill plot visualization. It's a data visualization technique that uses pills to represent fields of data in a chart. The color of the pill indicates the type of data in the chart. Blue pills represent discrete data. Green pills represent continuous data. Red pills indicate errors. Pill plots are used in Tableau. So I don't see anything on this sample report that seems like it's falling into that category. Let's see if we can find it in the documentation. Pills. Pills defines the attributes of a visualization for multiple values displayed as colored pills. Separator visualization for multiple values. Defines the color scheme of the pills for nominal values, defines the color range of the heat map as a list, and defines the domain of the heat map as a list. So let's quickly make sure that I'm not I don't see pill anywhere in the source, which is likely to indicate at least that I'm right, that this demo doesn't have pill data at all. Birth, pie charts, I don't see anything there. So, if they might have more tests here. Yes, they do. So test data. Expected index. Trying to see if they have an existing sample of a pill chart that I can look at, because it does not look like they have significant tests here actually. Not at all. It's a REST project. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do then. So first up, let's get this specs. Time for example config. This is going to be, oh, pills. Dataset movies, columns director, ellipsis 40, genre, plot, pills, separator. So if I go back here, where is genre? It is not here. Maybe this live examples is out of date. Let's get this running locally and see if we can run this example. And if we can, maybe it's more up to date. How long ago was this updated? Add new pills to 2 days ago. Okay, that seems fairly likely. First up, let's get this cloned. Let's do this. So this computer's a relatively fresh Arch Linux install. I have done a Rust project before, so I already have Rust installed, so this might be as simple as cargo build, and we'll see. Let's also get an editor opened up and see what we can do. Build.rs. Failed to install, failed to copy web into outdoor. Style. This doesn't have like an index.html file. Oh, did not run successfully. Failed to install package OS. Code to message no such note. Run with Rust backtrace. That's in the build script. Build. Anything here that mentions package OS? No. Fail to install packages. OS. Cargo toml. Do we have an OS package in here? I don't see one. Code 2 not found. That's interesting. Yeah, exact same. Let's just Google it. Let's actually check the project and see if they have a contributing guide, which they do. Whether you're fixing both, before then create a new branch. Source contains all Rust related code. Web contains JavaScript, which is used to generate important open end is opened in a browser. There is nothing here about dependencies or anything like that. So, is there a specific version of Rust that we depend on? No. I think I have Rust up installed. I do. What is the error again? At build.rs, line 25. Failed to install packages. pnpm. Is there package? Oh, okay. So it's also a Node.js project, which makes sense for like client-side resources, I guess. I think I have npm installed. I do not. I have yarn installed, right? I don't know why that just created a yarn.lock file. I don't think. What is pnpm? I've never heard of pnpm. Yet another node package manager. Okay. It exists in the Arc package manager. So let's do this. And see if it works. Farther than it got before. Now, what commands do I need to run to actually run? Dataviz config YAML output put example report. So is we need a build. Is it under target? Debug datavzrd dot examples example dash config dot YAML dot example slash out. No, there was a command line flag for that, right? Dash dash output. Really? Dash dash output. Unrecognized option dash dash output. Okay, this is probably out of date. Output. Oh, why am I running ls, not actually just running the thing? Okay, that was quick. Let's try open a browser because this is supposed to generate HTML. So in datavzrd.examples out index HTML. Boom. Do we have genre this time? We do not. Surprisingly. So let's look at the examples here. We have pills. Comes under movies, render table, columns, director. Is director in there? In the local one? It's not. Name. Name. Director. Columns director. Ellipsis after 40. Dataset movies. Oscar. Silence of the Lambs. Name, movie. Index 1. Is there another movies? Movies plot. Okay. Director. Genre. Genre, not genres. Genre, plot, pills, separator. And this is in movies. Render table. I'm out. Movies. Index. Runtime. Genre. Okay. Oh, here we go. So every unique value in the pill. Oh, okay. Pills, yeah. Every unique value gets a color. Every. And then we're just rendering multiple data. That seems pretty reasonable. Let's go back to the bug. Now that we have a sense of what that looks like. I wonder is this... Oh, that's what I was missing. I could have seen this on the live demo if I had noticed the drop down in the top left, but it's not very obvious, to be honest. Kind of out there and not very bold. Okay, back to the bug. Ellipsis. The idea of discussing the many different values to avoid the column getting wide. Ellipsis 0, it would need to display little colored bubbles without text, which then show the value on hover. So I think the idea is that an ellipsis value of greater than 0 would render that many characters followed by ... But then an ellipsis value of 0 wouldn't show any characters, obviously, but also would just omit the ... and render just little circles. So this is just about omitting the text. So first off, how does this work in the config? In pills, separator, what is he wants this to be? Should this be a child of the plot? Sure. Render utils spec. It's got to be in spec, right? Yeah. Pills spec. Yeah, not surprising. Okay. It all uses Serda. I'm not that familiar with this. It supports defaults. Color range. Let's just do Serda default equals -1. Pub create ellipsis I32. What do they use for integers in their configs? I find it surprising if they don't have integers ever. Let's actually look at the other ellipsis value, which they already had for an option U32. Sure. That works for me. And we'll do that the same way. Now I don't need -1 because I'm using an option. Okay. So then we come to render, and probably in, we want render table, not render plot. We'll see what this does, but I'm guessing pill spec probably isn't even in here. No. Pill spec? Pill spec. No. Utils? No. AG. Pill spec. pills spec. Okay. Render portable mod.rs pills spec. Oh, so we don't actually do any HTML rendering here. It looks like we literally just send the pills configuration to JavaScript. It gets copied over, and that's it. You know, they make the decisions they make for a reason, but kind of funny in my mind that the library claims that it generates HTML, but if it's just it is, I guess, static HTML and JS, but it's not really like rendering to HTML. It's just emitting a JS description, a JSON description of the plot, and going from there. At least that's what it looks like. And that's the only place pills is rendered, so there's not really much other possibility. Although, how does this get set? What if I do this? Render pills in JavaScript. Pills none, spec.rs. In 847, pills were pre-processing. Why are we pre-processing? What does this do? Domain, reader, record, skip, flat map, record, get, collect map, collect vec, color range, preprocess. Okay. Self.domain equals some domain. Yeah. I don't want to change any of that. That's what's going to allow us to map individual values to colors. We do the pre-process. A lot of none assignments in mod. We got Java pills titles. Pills is pills.sref.unwrap.clone. Nothing here looks like it's modifying the pills. I could be wrong, but it looks like most of the logic that we're going to care about is actually going to be in pills. In the datavzrd.js file. So, what I'm gonna do, their examples are meant to like look nice. If I was writing this as like but their examples also seem to be their tests. If I was writing this, I would probably do like, I would repeat the genre column multiple times, and just use different pills configurations. Let's just see if it generates like this, and assuming we've at least got the Rust portion of the change done. Okay. Seems like it works. The local version still runs. Okay. So now we have to go over to web source datavzrd.js, somewhere in here we have render pills. AH, columns, pills, detail mode, and header label length. This uses jQuery. I haven't seen jQuery in a long time. Wow, okay. We do a heat map, we do tr, td, nth child, each, table row pills.title, values.split, pills.separator. Okay, so I'm going to look at how they did the other ellipsis logic here. Data toggle tooltip data trigger title. If ellipsis equals if value.length is greater than ellipsis, then they just substring and they add it. Yeah. Hover, click, focus, data toggle tooltip. Okay. Function. This is in shortened column. Value equals this dot inner HTML if ellipsis equals 0. I think I can refactor this to be, so what if I do function shorten content and I do shorten inner HTML, inner HTML ellipsis, if ellipsis is equal to 0, return this, else return this, and the value is let's just call it shorten text value. Value. Let's just reuse this. Value 0 ellipsis. That's easy. Then we can do this dot inner HTML is equal to shorten text value. This dot inner HTML. So format, save without format, disable. I want you to disable auto formatting. I don't know how to do that in Z. I'm just recently switched to Z. I'm trying it out. Save, format on save, off. I'm trying out a whole bunch of new because I'm doing these kind of challenges, I'm trying a whole bunch of new projects, and I don't always get their editor settings and that sort of thing up and running. So having Z immediately try and like format something is not good. I'd rather just disable it so that I don't have to worry about accidentally messing with formatting in random projects. Okay, so this is shorten text value. this.innerHTML. Let's do this can be also a return. That shouldn't have broken anything there. Now, when I do pills, what is it? Render pills. Values.map scale v. Wow. This is really using templates and like string interpolation all over the place. It makes it a little bit awkward. Can I do... I don't like this approach. This just generates strings and then yeah. Let's see if I do v. Let's do let content equals pills. Where did scale come from? Heat map is pills.pills.domain and pills.pills.range. And if we go into the what is it, portable JavaScript pills, its title pills.pills.ellipsis. Sure. Question mark, shorten text value v or v, and then have this just generate content. This is not great, but let's see what it generates. It's definitely not going to work for an ellipsis value of 0, but for non-zero it might work. Do a build, regenerate, see what we get. Okay. No. I've added the ellipsis, but I haven't removed any of the actual text content. Did I mess that up when I implemented shorten text value? Did I not? I kept the substring. Its value substring 0 ellipsis. Ellipsis is not 0. Value dot substring. Render pills back into here. Then we could simply just go alert pills.pills.ellipsis. See what happens. See what I get. Because if it's not coming through, then I would have expected it to just use V. But let's see. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. So ellipsis is definitely not 0. We have a value. Valued up substring from 0 to ellipsis. Let's see if I go back here, rebuild, do this. Do this. What's the HTML that I end up getting? Drama. Musical. Okay, so it has data-original-title. Value.substring 0 to ellipsis. Why is that not shortening it? Data-trigger equals hover-click function title. Value substring 0 ellipsis. The only thing I can think of is that something is actually data trigger hover, click, or focus. So this is showing the tooltips, but why? That's very strange, unless something else is coming in and modifying them after the fact, which is kind of what I'm expecting. Something has to be putting in the real values. Maybe I didn't update the calling code. Is this not calling it at all? It has to be. If it wasn't calling it, then how is it getting the oh yeah, sorry, I made it a console.log. Data.substring. How? Ellipsis. Shorten text value. This dot inner HTML. I messed that up. Yeah, I didn't I didn't pass the ellipsis value. Okay, but what did I do here? I also forgot to pass the ellipsis value. Okay, I'm just not thinking. Ellipsis and shorten text value here needs to pass pills dot ellipsis. This condition is probably going to be a problem when I set ellipsis values of 0, but should help us check the current situations. Okay. Refresh. Hey, that works pretty good. This is not good though. The fact that drama gets an ellipsis even when it's only 5 characters. So was that the prior behavior or did I mess that up? It used to be that it would do else if value.length is greater than, yeah, okay. I'm just not that should solve that. And indeed, now we get undefined. Undefined is not what we want. Shouldn't need that. Value substring 0 ellipsis. Else if value.length is greater than ellipsis. Did it? It doesn't log it at all. Oh. Shorten text value. Else. Return value. That's I'm letting this get to me. So the old case that we were calling this was here. And this was just inline before, and it wouldn't modify it otherwise. Yeah, okay. This should work. Perfect. Okay, so pretty happy with how that turned out. Let's go back to the config and try a value of ellipsis 0. Now the shortened text value implementation looks like it handles that, but I think the only problem might be our condition for activating shortened text value. So let's go back here and see if they do explicit undefined checks. They do. So dot pills dot ellipsis isn't undefined, and see if that just magically solves everything. This is not fantastic in that we're still creating the nested elements, but we'll see. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. It's not horribly far from where we want to be. So the challenge is this, right? Style equals width 100%. Data toggle tooltip. Where's the other ellipsis? It's on the director column of the movies plot, which, okay, so this case, yeah, so they want to fill up this whole cell, and they want to make sure that anywhere you hover, you get the thing. That doesn't really work for pills. Yeah, let's, I think it's going to make more sense just to separate the two. Function shorten pill value. Do I want to do this? I don't want that. 2 pixels, border radius 12 pixels. So in the event that background color. Yeah, this style of approaching this makes this a bit difficult. Okay, let's get it working first. Okay. So if ellipsis is equal to undefined, else value color. If the ellipsis is 0, then we want to create this, but we want to add the data toggle, data trigger, and title attributes. That's probably activating some existing hover logic that they have, and if it works, we don't want to modify it. And then the content of this should just be empty. Now, if the idle length is greater than the ellipsis, then we do the same thing, except now we do this logic inside. And otherwise, we want the pill with just the value. It's the same as this case. So value, 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 value. Do we have color? We do have color. We're checking ellipsis. Do we use shorten pill value? Passing 3 parameters. Yes, we do. We return the content value. Let's do the matching indent. See what we get. Not a problem. Let's see. Ooh. Drama, romance, musical. Did he want circles? Because if he didn't want circles, little color bubbles. That's what it's doing. Should probably put a height on those. Shorten pill value. And the idea here is that we want margin, border radius, background color. This is if the ellipse is 0. We want to add height. No, width. No. Yeah, height of 24 pixels. Maybe. We want it to match. Doesn't work. What do we got? If we inspect, it's 16 by 22. So I feel like at this point we just get rid of the padding. We keep the margin. We set, if the border radius is 12, then why not just make the height and width 24 pixels? Let's see what that does. That seems like it's going to be a little big, but it's a span. This needs to be a div, I think. But we'll what was it doing before? It was using the padding. Can I just do padding 12x? Might be enough. Switching to divs is going to require a different like layout mode, so. Okay. So that's working. Oh, but now it's still, I still have it as divs. That was exactly what I wanted to avoid. Done. Oh, looks terrible. Why? Because the height is somehow ending up at 38 pixels. Yeah, okay. So if we do come on. Char. That seems to do it. That's not bad. I think that basically is the bug resolved. I'm not really happy with this duplication. The styles are the same. Does he use const anywhere? He does. So if we do if equals 0, we do this case first, then we do else, and we do the styles are this way, and then we do get rid of the 0 case, move all these inside, then or value.length is less than or equal to ellipsis. Then we do this, then we can get rid of this case, this becomes else. We've removed most of the duplication. So I think at this point it's not worth the refactoring that I did above. So let's do this. Let's just call this render pill. This becomes return render pill. All of that should be the same. Now let's pull up the diff and specifically the changes that I made to shorten text value. I don't think they're worth it anymore. It distracts from the change at this point. So shorten column. This, I think we can just take this, this back here, this. Like I said, normally I would get my editor set up with, proper indentation settings, but it's not worth it if you're only going to do one change in a project. I'll just try and match what they have and make as little bit of a little investment into the project as I can to get the change that I'm trying to get changed done. So now the only diff we have is this, except we also somehow have a change in what scale equals. Custom func equals heat map. Apparently I have added something here. Wow. This project has some crazy white space going on. I think this just goes away now. Let's do this again. Render pill. This should be pretty good. Let's see. Let's do one more build. Looks good. This still looks good. These are still working. Go back to the example config.yaml. Make sure that the this still looks good. Okay. I think we're basically done. So let's see what we have in terms of changes. I look like I made a random file at some point. We modified the spec to get the extra properties into the JSON. We modified the example config for testing. The out directory is just where we were developing, and then we modified the JS file. So get rid of the out directory, add our files, commit, support the ellipsis setting on pill plots. The logic for render pill is similar to the existing logic in shorten columns, I think it's called. Let's actually make this 5. In shortened column. However, the pills require different wrapping elements, so it was easier to duplicate some of this logic than to try and unify these utilities. The support new logic also supports pills with ellipsis equal to 0, in which case the pills are rendered as circles without any text content, and the pill value is shown in a tooltip on hover. Let's go back to GitHub. In this, let's set up a fork. Check what the license is actually. It says MIT license, but I don't see MIT in here. That could be a problem, actually. Yeah, okay. Well, we have the change prepped. I'm not going to send it out because the license status of this project is a little unclear. And I have to be a little careful with the projects that I contribute to with my employer. So I'm going to end this video here. I think we fixed the bug, even if that fix doesn't end up going out. So thanks for watching.